Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be sharing some products that are on my radar to include in a 2021 project pan. I have a whole box full of items here that I would love to finish in 2021. I probably won't finish all of them, but these are products that are definitely kind of on my mental list of things that I would like to try to pan in the near future. This was actually requested by one of you guys on my YouTube community tab, so thank you so much for that idea because it'll kind of start to get the gears turning. I'm really excited to kick off a new project pan at the beginning of 2021, and so this will be a good way to kind of start thinking about it. I have two foundations that are on my radar to pan. One of them is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I've actually panned one of these in the past, and this one I bought when it was on major sale at the end of 2019. I feel like it might be close to expiring, even though I haven't had it for that long. Usually foundations, don't expire after a year, but on the bottom here it says it expired in September of 2019, which I have a feeling that's just referring to the SPF ingredients in here, which I don't use this for SPF anyway, so that's not a big deal to me, but I know I've heard that this does expire because some people have told me that theirs expired and got a really funky smell, so mine still smells okay, thankfully. So this is one that I'd like to kind of proactively try to use up before it does expire. This is one of my all-time favorite foundations. And then one that I would like to pan in the summer, or that I'm probably going to put in my project pan in the summer of next year, is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. So this one, I've kind of figured out that I only like this one in the warmer months, so probably around May of next year is when I would roll this in. I feel like I've used a good bit of it. I loved this in the summer of 2020, but now that it's a little bit colder, my skin just isn't agreeing with it as much, so I'm hoping to kind of knock this out next summer. I don't know if I could completely finish it up, but I would at least like to try my best to use it up next summer. I also have two concealers that I'm thinking about panning. One of them, this is my oldest one. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is my favorite concealer at the moment. Huge bottle, half an ounce, which is like double what most concealers are. It's practically as big as a foundation. Well, it's half the size of a foundation. Since it's my oldest one, this is probably the one I'd like to see go sooner rather than later. I've had this since the beginning of 2019. I know I've seen people use these up, so I know it's possible, but I have a feeling it's going to take a lot of dedication. I feel like I have probably about half of it left. It's hard to say right now, just because I've had it stored on its side, but whenever I do have it upright, I can kind of tell that it's probably about half full still, so that's probably about the amount that you would get in one full-sized regular concealer. The other concealer I would like to pan is another one that I've had. I think I've had this one since December 2019, so a year now. Not my oldest, but I would like to move this one out soon. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer. I don't like this concealer. Just not my favorite formula, but I also don't hate it, so I feel like I wouldn't mind panning it. And with concealers, I can kind of mix them and create like cocktails that I like. I also don't mind this one for every day. It's just not my favorite. And this one I'm already able to kind of see through the side a little bit. So I feel like there's not a ton left because a lot of times when I take my doe foot out, well, now it has a lot on it, but sometimes when I take it out, I have to kind of scrape the sides to get it out. But I also don't feel like I've used it that much, so maybe it's just playing tricks on me, but this is one that I would like to not have in my collection a year from now, we'll say that. All right, a couple of face powders. My face powder collection got really out of hand this year. I don't know why, because I don't really care that much about face powder. I'm indifferent to most of them. I feel like they all do the same thing. These are two that these are my oldest two, I think. Once I finish my Physicians Formula powder that's currently in my project pan, that one should be done by the end of this year. But I have the Jordana Forever Flawless pressed powder and the e.l.f. Prime and Stay finishing powder. The e.l.f. Prime and Stay only has 0.17 ounces or 5 grams. This is a pretty small compact, and then the Jordana one has 0.34 ounces or 9.5 grams, so it's about double the size of this e.l.f. one. Let me see how that compares to the Physicians Formula one. Hold on. This one that I've been panning, this has been taking forever to pan. This one has 0.27 ounces or 7.8 grams. So actually this Jordana one has even more than the Physicians Formula one, which is a bit discouraging. So I don't know if I'd be able to finish both of these in 2021, but I'd at least like to finish one of them and then hit pan on another. I would just like to get my powder collection down to maybe just like 2 or 3. Right now I have like 6, and I just think that's absurd. I don't need that many. So I have a couple of blushes that I'd like to start working on. This one is a cream blush from e.l.f. This is their monochromatic multi-stick in Glistening Peach. So this actually, the reason why I kind of have this on my radar is I was looking at it, and there's really not a lot in here to begin with. I think you're getting kind of a small amount of product. That's all I have right now. And I've used it, I feel like I don't use it that much. Like I haven't used it a ton. Anyway, long story short, this one's kind of creamy and I really, really like this one. I'm actually wearing this today underneath Wet n Wild Rosé Champagne. But this is a beautiful kind of glowy cream blush that I feel like this wouldn't be too hard to use up. This is a blush that was in my project pan in the beginning of 2020. And it's the Milani powder blush in Romantic Rose. This is old. This is now 5.5 years old, and is not getting any younger. So I don't know if I'll ever finish this because there's so much product in here. I would like to continue making progress on this in 2021. Can't believe it's already 2021, by the way. That sounds so weird to say. Well, it's not 2021 yet, but we're about to be. Okay, this is one that I won't be able to finish. Well, I don't want to be too pessimistic here, but highly doubt that I'd be able to finish this. But this is the Terramere Mineral Blush in Rosy. It's a loose powder blush. Really, I would just like to use this more. So that would be the reason why I would put it in my project pan. It also is one of my older blushes. I think I've had this since 2017. I would like to eventually finish it, but I feel like it would be hard to mark my progress on here. Also, there's a ton like in the cap there, so what I'll probably do, I definitely will put it in my project pan at some point in 2021. I'll probably set like a usage goal for it, like I'd like to use this 50 times and then roll it out just because it's a little harder to track progress on loose powders like that. I also have a couple of highlighters that I would like to finish. Both from Becca, actually. This is their mini Champagne Pop liquid, and even though I haven't used this much, there's like a huge gap in here, so I don't know if it just wasn't that full to begin with, but I mean, I've used it a good handful of times, but I just haven't focused on it at all since I got it. So I don't think this would be too hard to finish. Also, this is the kind of thing I could mix with my foundation. Lots of ways to multi-purpose a liquid highlight like this. And also the powder version of Champagne Pop that I have, this is also a mini. I have major pan on this. I love this highlight, so I think I would really enjoy panning it. One area where I feel like I'm always trying to put a lot of energy, single shadows. So I have 4 single shadows that I'd like to pay attention to next year. 3 of them are ColourPop Super Shock shadows. I have the shades Liberty, Bill, and Sailor, and I am just really afraid that these are going to dry out, and I feel like I don't use them enough even though I really, really like them. So there's those 3, and then I also have another product from Terramere. This is their mineral eyeshadow in Bronze Moonstone. It's also a loose product like their blush. I love this eyeshadow so much. It's like a purpley taupe. Beautiful for a one shadow look. It's just so pretty. So this is another thing that it would be hard to track my progress on, but I'd probably set a usage goal for it. In fact, this is, maybe for this I would set a goal to like use one of them 30 times and then roll in the next one, use that one 30 times, next one, so on and so forth. I do know from experience it's very challenging to use up a cream single shadow. I used up the e.l.f. Soiree single shadow this year. It took 5 ever to finish. So instead of focusing on using up one of these, I'd like to put like an equal amount of energy into all 4. I think that's probably going to be my goal. If anyone has ever used up a ColourPop Super Shock shadow, let me know. How did it go? How long did it take? All that. I want to know. In 2020, I kind of got into panning lip products. I never used to pan lip products, and now I've gotten better at it. I've used up a good handful of lip products in 2020 so far. So I have 4 lip products here that I would like to hopefully use up in 2021. I don't know if I'd be able to use up all of them. One of them is this gloss from Dose of Colors. This is my oldest lip gloss. I've had it since 2019. which isn't really that old, but it is my oldest, so this is the one I'd like to focus on in the shade On Repeat. I really like this one. Oh, it smells so good. I feel like there's a lot in here. How much does this come with? Okay, so I think actually it looks bigger than it is. There's only 0.16 ounces in here, which is not terrible. So maybe this would be easier to pan than I'm thinking. I have panned one lip gloss before, and it was the NYX Butter Gloss. Well, that's not true. I've panned other glosses as well, but that was like a way long time ago. NYX Butter Gloss has 0.23 ounces, so that's actually more, significantly more than the Dose of Colors one. So maybe this one would be easier since I have used up another one before. And then I have a liquid lipstick. I've never panned a liquid lipstick. I don't even think I've ever put a liquid lipstick in a project pan. I don't think I ever have. This is the Ofra liquid lipstick in Laguna Beach. It's in their old packaging, if that tells you anything. I've had this since, I think, the end of 2017. It is one of my oldest lipsticks, and I don't want it to go bad. I love this shade. I love this formula. It's like a nice kind of mid-toned strawberry pink color. This is great because I could use this as a cream blush as well. That is a great way to get more use out of your lipsticks. Another one of my oldest lip products is this e.l.f. matte lip crayon in Tea Rose. This is old. I think I've had this since either 2015 or 2016, so this, and there's a lot left. I feel like I have not used this as much as I should have by now. Well, actually, I'm able to twist it down pretty far. And I have panned one of these matte lip colors from e.l.f. before. I think I panned the shade Natural a few years ago, so I know it's doable. Tricky, but doable. And finally, the Burt's Bees Gloss Lip Crayon in the shade Santorini Sunrise. So this I haven't had that long, but it was decluttered to me from a friend. So I actually don't know how old this is. I've had it for like a year now, but I'm guessing it's quite a bit older than that. So this is how much is left in here. This is a nice glossy formula. Glossy lip formulas tend to be a little easier to pan than like really matte ones. So we will see, and this would also make a great cream blush. Definitely pretty ambitious there. I don't know if I will get around to all of these in 2021, but they're definitely all on my radar. So those are all the products that are currently on my radar for next year's project pan. I also should add that the things that are currently in my 2020 project pan that I don't finish up by the end of the year, those will also likely carry over into my next year's project pan, or they'll also be kind of on this list of things that I want to use up. But these are things that are not currently in my project pan that I'm interested in panning. So let me know if you have any experience panning any of these items. I'd love to hear like how easy were they to pan, how long did it take, that kind of thing, to just get a little more insight. But hopefully this was a fun video. I'm really excited to kick off my next project pan. I'm planning on doing it the same format as always, which will just be a year-long rolling Project 10 pan. I will leave all my project pan videos linked down below so you can check them out if you're in the mood to kind of binge watch project pan videos. But if you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you again very soon, and hopefully I'll talk to you in my next video.